What is up, guys, and welcome to the Day 51 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season. Lesson of the day is do not make Kristaps Porzingis mad. Yo, do not do it. It is not worth it. Yo, Chriss threw Cripple McStingus to the ground last night. Cripple McStingus bumped into Eric Bledsoe. Eric Bledsoe went down. Cripple McStingus kept walking. Chriss said, hey, yo, he went down. You go down. He threw Cripple McStingus to the ground. The Cripple McStingus got up and he was mad. Yo, I've never seen him mad before. You know, it's nice to see. You know, it's nice to see that he can have that edge to him, and it's nice to know that if push comes to shove, you know, he'll shoot back. And I literally do mean shoot back because I mean he was shooting the lights out after that incident. I mean he was upset. You could tell it, and that's one thing I love to see too. That he didn't just let it stop there. Yo, he was like, we might not be able to fight right here. You know, we might not be able to square up, but I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna set some flames to this court because I'm heated. And you know, it's nice to see that. I wish I could see him play with that edge a little more because he would be so much better if he was more aggressive, you know, demanded the ball more and was just like, you know what, you can't stop me, I'm gonna hit this. But unfortunately he didn't hit the shot to win it and it went into overtime. He fouled out in overtime, and then when he fouled out, the Knicks basically had no chance because other than Kyle O'Quinn, no one else could really get it going. Derrick Rose didn't play in the second half due to back spasms. Brandon Jennings couldn't get anything to fall. Carmelo Anthony couldn't get anything to fall. You know, Joakim Noah was just straight up trash. I mean, he had 8 points and 8 rebounds, but he missed 5 consecutive free throws in the first half, at the end of the first half, and if he had just made one of those, just one, I mean, the game went into overtime, so if they got one more point from somewhere or someone, you know, it could have been a different turnout. As for Chriss, you know, you love to see that too from a young player. He's a rookie and you like to see him sticking up for a veteran. You know, he stuck up for the team's leader, Eric Bledsoe, you know. He goes to the ground, you go to the ground, you know. It's just, it's basketball, you know, emotions are on time. Glad no one got ejected, but by the way, how is that not an ejection? Not saying it should have been an ejection, but how is that not an ejection? And the DeAndre Jordan, Eric Turner finger pointing fest turned into double ejections. Like, how is that? How is someone throwing someone to the ground not an ejection? But that doesn't make sense. Neither one of them should have been ejection. Neither one of those should have been ejection. Yeah, the Phoenix Suns got the win. You know, Eric Bledsoe had 31 points. Chriss had a pretty good game as well with 14 points and 12 rebounds. And for the Knicks, Cripple McStingus had 34, and I believe Kyle O'Quinn had 22 points and 11 rebounds. So, you know, he's still the best center on the New York Knicks. Hashtag get rid of Joakim Noah. They finally did it. Yo, they finally did the exact opposite of what they've been doing all season long. They were down big. The Minnesota Timberwolves were down big, and they came back and won. Yo, this is a huge step forward for the Minnesota Timberwolves, getting an actual quality win over a quality team in a not so quality, well, a kind of quality way. I guess you could say it's a quality way. A comeback win always feels good. Their last game, they blew a lead against Golden State Warriors. You know, they were winning, they were right there in the game, then they basically gave it away. This game, they fought back and they kept the lead and they won. Zach LaVine, 24 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Andrew Wiggins had 23 points, 9 rebounds. Karl Anthony Towns didn't shoot well. I would like to see him take a little less threes. He's not at the point of his game right now where he's like an amazing three-point shooter. You know, he shouldn't be taking 8 3-pointers in any game unless he's like on fire, because he was 1 of 8 from downtown last night. He had 16 points and 12 rebounds and also 3 blocks. They finally got a win in Tom Thibodeau's return to Chicago. Finally, about freaking times. They're 7-18 out of the year. Hopefully this triggers some type of switch in their brain. Was like, whoa, you know what, we can win games. We don't have to take these L's. There are other letters in the alphabet. I know you're upset, Anthony Davis. I know you are upset, yo. The Pelicans were right there with the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors have had a couple of scares their past few games. After losing to the Memphis Grizzlies, the Golden State Warriors have had a couple of scares. Remember, they almost, well, not almost lost, but they were letting the Minnesota Timberwolves keep up with them and beat them for most of the game, the last game. Then the same thing was with the Pelicans this game. You know, the Pelicans were right there blow for blow with the Warriors the entire game. And it came down to the final seconds too. Anthony Davis was absolutely on fire though. 28 points, 5 blocks, and 8 rebounds, and 2 steals on 10 of 14 shooting from the field. You know, that's what you call freaking efficient. I would have loved to have seen him shoot more, because when you're that on fire, when you basically don't know what it is to miss, I think you demand the ball a little bit more. But at the same time, you can't go, well, you can because they lost, but at the same time, they were keeping up with them. So, you know, that's a good thing as well. But, you know, it's a problem for the Pelicans when your second best player is almost always Langston Galloway as of late, you know. I mean, it's good that he's playing well, I guess, but at the same time, He's not a player that would probably even be in the rotation for most teams. He's just a player that's on a team that doesn't have any other options, so someone else has to score. And for the Warriors, same story has been all season long. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green had his first triple-double of the year. 12 points, 12 rebounds, 10 assists, 4 blocks, and 2 steals, so he stuffed the stat sheet. And yes, that final play at the end could have been called a foul. I mean, in the final minutes, fouls don't come as easily, especially in the final seconds of the game, not let alone the final minutes of the game. Did Portland actually play defense, or was Oklahoma City Thunder just missing shots? That's the question here. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it was a mix of both. The Portland's defense was a lot better than it has been. They only give up 95 points, which is actually really, and it was a pretty lopsided game. 114-95. Most of the starters didn't play in the fourth quarter. Damian Lillard never got back into the game. Russell Westbrook never got back into the game. And it was very balanced scoring for the Portland Trailblazers too. It wasn't just Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum carrying the offense. You had 6 players in double figures. Damian Lillard had 17. CJ McCollum had 15. Mason Plumlee had 18. Harkless had 15. And then off the bench, Evan Turner had 14 and Alan Crabb had 11. Very balanced scoring for the Portland Trailblazers. They still didn't rebound the ball well, but their defense was better than it has been. And for the Thunder, they were without Victor Oladipo this game. Russell Westbrook had 20 points. Didn't have a triple-double, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Not the typical Russell Westbrook game at all. And then, no one else could basically make a shot. They shot 37% from the field and 29% from 3. You're not going to beat anyone shooting like that. Atlanta, there's a serious problem when you go out and give up 131 points in regulation, not like quadruple overtime that it would normally take. 131 points in regulation to the Orlando Magic. That's a problem. That's a serious problem. Once again, it wasn't the Orlando Magic starters. No, sir, it was not the starters. Well, Ibaka had a really good game. He had 29 points. Fournier had a pretty good game. He had 23. But it was the bench again. The Orlando Magic bench did it again. Elfrid Payton had another really good game. 26 points and 14 assists in his 35 minutes off the bench. He shot 9 of 12 from the field and 3 of 3 from downtown. And you guys remember that Washington Wizards Orlando Magic game where John Wall dropped, 52 points? Elfrid Payton had a good game then too. Once again, that game he shot 9 of 12 from the field, had 3 of 3 from downtown, and had 25 points. And Marc Gasol sat out. I mean, you can't blame him. He had been carrying this Memphis Grizzlies team with the loss of Mike Conley. He had been literally putting him on their back. And, it's good that he sat out, and against the Cavs it makes sense because this is a game that you weren't favored to win anyway, so you might as well just take your L here no matter what and let Marc Gasol rest. And that's what they did. 103-86. Kyrie Irving also didn't play for the Cleveland Cavaliers. J.R. Smith stepped up, 23 points. LeBron James, once again, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 3 steals. And then Kevin Love is still playing pretty close to the Kevin Love of old. Kevin Love Minnesota, if not exactly the same as the Kevin Love of Minnesota. It's really good to see Kevin Love like this. Last night he had 29 points and 13 rebounds, 9 of 17 from the field. That's what you were used to back from Minnesota Kevin Love, and he's doing that once again this season. And that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge. It's good to see him back on track. But that about wraps it up for all the action from the Day 51 recap of the 2016-2017 NBA season. If you guys like this video, if you guys like this series where I do the recaps, you guys have to leave a like. The likes let me know that this is stuff that you guys want to see more. Like the last recap got 80 something likes. Then I post a different video, not a recap, and that gets 130 likes. So that tells me that, hey, we like this better than this. But then the people in the comment section are where are the recaps? Well, if you guys want to keep the recaps going, you guys have to like it, because it's not that the likes give me anything. It just tells YouTubers that that's what people like. That's what people like. That's what they want to see, is basically input. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't already, subscribe for more daily NBA content. And you guys know what that means. I'll be right back here tomorrow recapping the action from tonight. So until then, keep getting them buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace!